What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up. And yo, hopefully all the mothers, the aunties, the grandmothers had an amazing Mother's Day Sunday weekend. We are definitely appreciative of all the great things that you do. But today I got a real treat, and I want to talk about Jake ASAP Ferguson. And Jake Ferguson going into his third season, I feel like he's going to be a massive and important piece to it comes to our offensive success. Now, last season, he had 96 targets, which is 7th in the NFL. He was 9th in receptions with 71 receptions, 761 yards, and 5 touchdowns, which was tied for 7th in the NFL. So we saw a drastic uptick from his rookie season to his sophomore season. But me personally, I feel like Jake Ferguson's going to play a much important role when it comes to our offense. And the very first thing, when you watch Jake Ferguson, he is a dog. And I know people toss that word out. He's a dog. She's a dog. We all dogs, right? But Jake Ferguson is really a dog, and I think it's going to be important because you think about from the offensive standpoint, we need more toughness. We need more guys out there on the offensive side of the ball saying, you know what? It ain't going down like that. And Jake Ferguson is definitely that guy. You'll see him pushing, shoving, right? He just doesn't take any mess. And I think that's an important piece, right? And I'm not calling him Travis Kelce, but in Kansas City, Travis Kelce, he is the dog. You know what I'm saying? I know he's dating Taylor Swift and this and that. Y'all see him drinking beers, covering the Chiefs here in town, bro. Travis Kelce is the bad cop. He'll punch players at practice. Like, Mahomes is the good cop. Travis Kelce is the bad cop, right? But he's the attitude. He's the spark plug on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel like Jake Ferguson can be that same thing for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when it comes to a football aspect, I feel like the biggest improvement in Jake Ferguson's game from his rookie season to his sophomore season was run blocking. I feel like he's a much more efficient run blocker. Now, there's still work that needs to be done, but he's a lot more willing and a lot better just technique-wise with his run blocking in his second season. I believe this upcoming season, that is where we're going to see the uptick with Jake Ferguson, and we'll talk about some other improvements here as well. But I think that what I like the most, and if you go back to my film session of Jake Ferguson for last summer, right, he was a willing blocker, but he was a much improved blocker in the passing game, but also in the running game as well, which was represented in that clip right there. Now, I think this is where we're going to get a lot of improvement more from Jake Ferguson. I would like to see more volumes. Even though he had 96 targets, we have CeeDee Lamb as our #1 focus point of our offense. And after that, it should be 87. 87 should be the guy that everybody is trying to scheme for, because honestly, if all the times I've scouted Dak Prescott, right, he is typically an inside-outside reader. He likes to attack the middle of the field, and Jake Ferguson can be that safety blanket, what Jason Witten was for Tony Romo. You know, he kind of had Dalton Schultz, right? Dalton Schultz with Dak was pretty decent, right? But I feel like Jake Ferguson's a lot more talented than Dalton Schultz, and he can be the guy that can sit in the middle of the field, find those soft spots in the zones, and once he gets the ball in his hands, y'all, he doesn't go down easy. You know, he had everything. He averaged like 6 yards of yak last season. He is a big boy, country strong, doesn't go down easy. So those simple check downs, those simple out routes like you're noticing in this play right here can go a long way, especially when you're trying to move the chains. And now that you got Rico, you got Zeke back, you got Hunter Luepke and some other running back pieces, you can really get into your power game. And Jake Ferguson needs to be the focus point of that power game, because just give him a simple ball, boom, he turns upfield, and he doesn't go down easily. He's not going down without a fight, and you'll see that here in this touchdown play versus Philly. Nothing flashy, nothing sexy, just a simple out route, and then letting Jake Ferguson use his God-given ability to make things happen, and he doesn't go down easily, especially when you have these safeties lined up on him, his corners lined up. They're dog food out there when it comes to Jake Ferguson. He's a big boy, like I said, 245, 250-ish, depending on the right day, and he doesn't go down easily. So these simple plays, these simple dirty yards can go a long way, and I think that Jake Ferguson has a huge uptick. If I had to bet, and y'all know I do a lot of betting, I would say Jake Ferguson's going to get us 1,000 this year. I think Jake Ferguson is due for a 1,000-yard season this year because I feel like he's going to get a lot more volume and he's going to be utilized in our offense a whole lot more. And he's able to get those easy, tough, gritty yards. Now, on this play right here, I know a lot of people back in this game like, oh, Dak missed Jake Ferguson. Okay, boom, on this corner route. Okay, yes, he's open. But what they did, little football study, they ran like a cover one robber, right? That means the safety comes down and this safety pops up, right? So when Dak is making his first reads, and we'll go through progressions and all that stuff this year, this offseason. So he's looking at CD because honestly, if this guy would have stayed up, this is wide open to CD. And even with this, Jake Ferguson being butt naked wide open, Dak still hit CeeDee Lamb right in the hands. So it's not really Dak's fault, but we know how people are in our community. They just want to blame Dak for every little thing because he missed Jake Ferguson and hit CeeDee Lamb right in the chops, right? And even CD is saying that's my fault. But some people don't care. Everything is Dak's fault, right? But if you watch how Jake Ferguson is able to get off the line of scrimmage and get open in space, this is one of his best traits. And it's improved a lot from Wisconsin when we scouted him back in with the 2022 draft, right? I feel like he's more fluid with his route running ability, and he's able to get open in space. And I think that, Dak is really going to be able to take advantage of that. The thing that I love most about Jake Ferguson, like I said, once again, with that size and that physicality, he is able to fight through the contact. And you'll see that here, right? Getting crammed up, being held, but still able to get off contact, fight through it with his physicality, come back to the ball, right? He didn't let the ball come to him. He's fighting back to the ball, coming back to the ball, right there, and off to the races. And if you go back to my film breakdown from last year, the thing that I loved about Jake Ferguson, but also Hendershot, y'all know me, I call it the wiggle, right? Jake Ferguson has the wiggle. And what I mean by that, once he gets the ball in his hands, can he quickly turn up field, plant, and go? I feel like this was the biggest problem with Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz would get open. Dalton Schultz would catch the ball, but it took him a minute to really get revved up and quickly turn up field. That's not the case with Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson's athletic enough. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he is off to the races. And I think that's where a lot of that yak comes from that we spoke about earlier. But that's something I'm excited to see. It's just to be able to fight at the top of your routes. You're getting held, but also you're strong enough to get those defenders off you, still come up, make a play, and turn up field. This is something I'm also just excited to see about. Y'all know me, I'm a tight ends guy. I like the tight ends position. This is what it is, right? Little 13 personnel lining up with 3 tight ends right there. And I think when you got Stevenson's back, you got, even Schoonmaker, and you got the undrafted guys as well. Like, there's a lot of talent in our tight end room. It's going to be interesting to see how things fare out. But make no mistakes about it. Jake Ferguson is tight end 1, but 13 personnel going heavy out here. And you'll see this on the simple nod route. Little out, bam, gets Kobe Dean off balance inside. He's cooked, because if not, that would have been another touchdown for Jake Ferguson, right? So you can see how he's able to get out of his stance, sell the route, bam, use his hands, and would have made a play, but you got a flag, right? So I feel like Jake Ferguson is really going to be a mismatch nightmare, right? Because he's too big for some of these safeties to really cover him, and some of these linebackers, depending on who it is, I feel like he's athletic enough to open up himself and to beat them on the running route, especially on some of these underneath routes, and especially some of these seam routes as well. This is something I also like to see a little bit more. It's just him kind of spread out, right? Spread out, not just being an inline tight end. And he lightened up his slot a little bit as well. But, I feel like, once again, these simple basic routes, these in routes, it's easy money when it comes to Jake Ferguson. Look how he's able to create separation at the top of his route. Let's go back. So, boom. Get off me, bro. Look at that separation. That's an easy money throw for Dak Prescott. And once again, falling forward. He's not just going down easily. He's falling forward, getting those extra 1 to 2 yards. That definitely makes a difference throughout the course of an NFL game. So that's what I like about Jake Ferguson. And he is a complete tight end. I know, that they're talking about like Sam Laporta, and I love Sam Laporta, right? And I love, of course, Travis Kelce and some of these other tight ends. I think this upcoming season is when the NFL world really understands the value of what Jake Ferguson does, and that name will start to ring out. Because I feel like Cowboys fans know Ferg, but a lot of NFL fans don't really. They really don't, because he's not a name like that. Now, here's where we need to improve a little bit. He had 5 drops last year. Granted, in the middle of traffic, you got 3 birds circling around you. Bring in the money, man. You got to bring the money. He had that drop right. But even if you look at the route, getting over the top of the linebacker, he's wide open. Just got to bring that in. Got to secure that catch right. But I'm not too concerned about it. That is something that can definitely be proved in the offseason. You'll go to this next catch right here. It was a drop as well. So sometimes he kind of has those drops. Not too alarmed by it. It happens. 5 drops, nothing too chaotic, but there's always area of improvement that can be improved. This route right here, man, like I said, he's always just falling forward. He gives us that safety blanket. Someone to be able to use out there, just simple routes, simple out routes. Boom. And y'all see right there, right? How he's able to turn and get upfield. Catch, upfield, wiggle. That's the wiggle. That's the wiggle that Tuck likes. That's what I like from my tight ends. I like some tight ends with some wiggle. You know what I'm saying? All my fellas out there know what I'm talking about, right? Able to get upfield and make a play. Like I said, once again, doesn't go down easily. Jake Ferguson is always falling forward. I think he's going to play a pivotal role. Like I said, I might look on some sports books, but I would slam Jake Ferguson for going over 1,000 yards next year in this Dallas Cowboys offense if fully healthy, because his volume's going to increase, and I think he's going to play a huge role when it comes to our offense in year 3. And a lot of people around the NFL are going to start to take notice of Jake Ferguson, man. So it's your boy J Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. We got a lot more film breakdowns coming out. So share that content so all Cowboys fans are aware. We got some interviews with some players. A lot of fun stuff coming up, so you definitely don't want to miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And Jake Ferguson, the time has arrived. You will be one of the best tight ends in the NFL this upcoming season. You heard it here first. Peace.